The desert rated performer is back. Furman Jeep has given us the 2022 Jeep Gladiator Mojave in your bright white. The styling that you get is the all-roading traditional Jeep. And what I like about this is you got the bed. You're going against rivals like your Nissan Frontier, your Honda Ridgeline, Toyota Tacoma. This fits in a lot of segments, but at the end of the day, nothing backs the performance like a Jeep. Rugged interior for the desert or for off-roading, and you got the upgraded suspension because this is the Mojave. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and we're gonna go over all the specs and details starting now. The new Jeep Gladiator Mojave will have the best clearance comparing to everybody at 11.6 inches, fording through water at 30 inches. Performance hood is what we're set with the Mojave badging. You got your halogen headlights, your 7-slot traditional Jeep grille, 5 skid plates, to make sure you're protected when you're going into the desert, when you're going off-roading, and you got the bumper that extends out with the tow hooks in the front, so it makes it even easier with that. And the proportions at 73.8 inches with a height of 76.1 inches. This is half an inch more ground clearance than the Gladiator Rubicon. We're set with 17-inch black 5-spoke alloy wheels, all-terrain 33-inch tires, and behind it, Fox 2.5 performance bypass shock absorbers, true lock front and rear axle ratio at 4.1 inches. The suspension is tuned sportier for quicker reactions to avoid obstacles in the desert, so that just shows you that the engineering work was good by Fiat Chrysler, and I like what we're working with. 218 inches of length, 137.3 inches of a wheelbase. So it's a longer vehicle. I like the Mojave badging and the Jeep Gladiator on the side. The doors lift and come off. You got the soft top on it. Solid Rockwell, so that way when you're doing your desert performance, you don't have to worry. LED tail lamps, so you're gonna get a little bit of that luxury. Brake light right here, because you can take the whole top off, so that way when you're driving, people still know where you're at. Towing will be the best in the Gladiator at 7,000 pounds, almost the best in class. The Ford Ranger will be just a touch more. This is the same as the Colorado. It's more than the Honda. It's more than the Nissan. I mean, the list keeps going on and on. 2 tow hooks. You got your spare tire tucked underneath, open inside. Cargo length at 60.3 inches between the wheel well housing at 44.8 inches, a height of 33.9 inches, giving us a total of 35.5 cubic feet. The new Jeep Gladiator Mojave keeps the styling cues. You got the truck, you got the traditional SUV, you got desert rating, and they back the performance with a 3.6 liter V6 producing 285 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque that's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, achieving 17 to 22 mpgs with a 0 to 60 just a hair under 8 seconds, a quarter mile just a hair under 16 seconds, a top speed just a hair under 110 miles per hour. So you have the speed on the road, but off-roading and desert rating is really where it's at. And when you're comparing it to the competition, whether it's Nissan, whether it's Toyota, whether it's Ford, this is the only desert rating in its class. Let me know in the comments what you think about the 2022 Jeep Gladiator Mojave as we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Entering inside the Jeep Gladiator Mojave without running boards, it's going to be a little bit more fun and playful. Headroom at 42.8 inches, legroom 41.2 inches. It's going to be a cloth bucket front seats. You get the orange stitching, you get the pattern, you have manual adjustment for both the passenger and the driver, Mojave badging. So I do like that they're doing the Mojave badging and the contrast stitching, and what they do with the dash, the same thing. You're going to get that orange over all your air vents, you get the silver pretty much throughout everything. It's a smaller dash, but you still got storage on the top tier, and it's something that's functional. Not a lot of buttons, so when you're comparing it to the competitors, everything's in the center, starting with the 8.4 Uconnect 5. We have navigation with touchscreen. We have the pinch, We got the swipe. Click into your app so you can see everything we have. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, streaming, Bluetooth. Click into your off-roading page. And this, you can see for your drivetrain, you can see for your gauges, your pinch and roll, which is very important when it comes to going off-roading or taking it even out on the desert. Switch it to reverse. You do have full trajectory to reverse camera. You can click that plus, so that way you can see the toe, towing up to 7,000 pounds. The way that you sit in this is going to be higher up. So you're almost at 12 inches of clearance, so it's going to feel a little bit more off-roading, and that's really what you're looking for. Elbows are going to be more sport-derived. It's a two-tier. Open up for the first, little bit of storage. The second tier, more storage with a USB port. In the center, you got your climate control settings, you got your USB, your 12 volt, you have your axle locker for the rear, and even on the gear lever, you get the Jeep badging, and even on the windows, they put it to give these little Easter eggs, and I like this because it goes back to the Jeep Willys. You got your 4-wheel for your transfer case, cup holders, you can easily fit a 20 to 32 ounce in an area you can put for your key fob. The steering wheel's leather wrap, multi-function, 3-spoke with the cross stitch in orange. The gauge cluster has a TFT display that goes through an array of information for the driver, so it just makes it easier. You also have that off-roading page so you can see your pinch and roll in the drivetrain, which is super important yet again because you don't have to focus on every single thing in the front. You also can opt for a camera or a trail camera in the front, which is a really cool thing because a lot of the other vehicles don't offer that at all. Door panel, harder materials, you're going to expect that for a Mojave. Storage is going to be immense. You can take the door panels off. It's a soft top as well. You got speakers set up behind us. So it is exactly what you want. A sporty, traditional Mojave. Let's see how I look in the back. For the back seats, I'm at 42.8 inches of headroom, 38.3 inches of legroom. I fit without any issues. I do wish that there was an armrest or something I could put my elbows on to rest because when we're going desert raiding at the end of the day, I'm going to be jumping around. I do like that the soft top is higher up and the speakers are more forward because when you take it off, you can still hear the speakers, and where they're located is great because it actually blocks some of that wind when you're driving. It's an open concept vehicle, so the windows are nice and big and you feel like you're sitting up higher too. The Mojave is going to have more leg room than the Wrangler, and when I'm comparing it to the competition, this one's going to be the best in class for legroom. Door panel, harder materials, you're going to expect that. This is a Mojave, it's desert rated, but you got a lot of storage underneath, and you got some more storage behind both of the front seats. 400 volt plug, 4 USB, your cup holders there in the center, and your air vents. So you have everything that you need to relax. Just like I said, you would be like this. Even with the seat belt, you're still going to be moving. Let's see how I look in the center. Sitting into the center, headroom is still no issue. Legroom, I'm kind of grazing the back of the front seats. The way this sits, and it's not necessarily the widest vehicle, I'm going to be sharing butt space, feet space, shoulder space, a lot of different spaces. But at the end of the day, it's not too bad. You do sit higher up. So now I'm pretty much almost flush at 6'3" with those speakers. But again, the good thing is it kind of puts a cushion so the wind will go over me when we're going off-roading, in the desert, or even on the highway. And this is the best thing about the Jeep Gladiator Mojave is they stretched out the wheelbase and gave you substantial amount of room in the back. You can fold these seats up to a 60-40 split, and you have a storage bin underneath it. You could also fold these completely flat down, which you can't do that in some of the competition. Taking the 2022 Jeep Gladiator Mojave out on our test run. This particular setup is awesome if you're going to actually use it, meaning taking it out on the desert, taking it 4-wheel, doing all the attributes you would like to do. This is something that you would really like. And I mean, 285 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque. You have the performance behind it with this 3.6 liter V6. However, when I'm looking at the rivals, the Chevy Colorado will be the most with the horsepower. This will be the best afterwards. The 0 to 60 will be the best for the Ford Ranger. This one, it gets up to speed quick enough. I mean, they engineered this thing to do a lot of capabilities. Going to try to get it as straight as we can and give her a little go. Jeep performance at its best. Now Now obviously if you're looking to get a throaty vehicle, you're going to go to the 392, in which will have that performance behind it, 470 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque. It is the fastest and the most capable, but this one is capable for doing desert rating. So when you're looking at everyday availability, you got the truck bed in the back, you have room to fit 5 successfully, and this is a convertible, which is something that I always entertain because I'm in the state of Florida. At the end of the day, I want to be able to put the top down, go to the beach, and just enjoy the beautiful sunny weather, and that's what you get. Braking in the vehicle, now this is a heavier car, so don't go too crazy, but if you need to, it will throw you into the windscreen. Turn radius at a stop point is going to be tough with this vehicle because it is long, but you're going to get about 3 lanes, and when you can finally center it, give it a little go, now there is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike. Is anything more than that, I'd be buying this vehicle. Starting off with the things that I like about it is the capabilities to do every single thing. There's a reason why Jeeps are the #1 4x4 vehicle in the world. And adding the truck bed to it, so it's like an SUV with the truck bed, I mean, there's just a lot of pluses to it. The upgraded suspension components, able to go desert rating, able to do anything and conquer it. I mean, the list can go on and on and on. The second thing that I like about it is they keep the heritage cues of Jeep very simple. 7-slot grille on the exterior. Interior, it's what you need. It's not over the top. It's plain door panels, so easy to clean because you're going to be taking them off. The top comes off easy as well, and it completely comes off, which takes you back to the history of the original Jeep Willie. The last thing that I like about it is that we have more leg space. When you're looking at the competition, this is the best in class leg space, and they do it for a reason, because they understand that you're going to take people out and have fun. 3 things that I dislike has to start off with, Jeeps are known to be very noisy. It doesn't matter whether you get a hard top, a soft top, you have it open, you have it closed, it's going to be noisy, and for a long journey it can kind of give you a bit of a headache. You obviously get used to it because you purchased the vehicle. The second thing that I dislike has to go with the steering, and I get it, you have to do this so you have more travel in the front and the rear because you're maneuvering in the desert, you're going off-roading, but it has a lot of play, and Jeeps are known to have this. Everyone that has a Jeep or drives a Jeep or even test drove a Jeep understands this. The last thing that I dislike about the vehicle is, yes, it's simple, but it's so simple that if I'm not taking this vehicle off-roading, if I'm not taking it to the desert, I can see me buying it and saying, you know what, I want to upgrade to the 392 because that one is more living with performance, whereas this one, it doesn't lack in performance. It does have a lot of kick, and the towing is great. Again, it's a plus and minus. If you're looking for something for off-roading capabilities and to take it to the desert, this is the absolute best vehicle you can get. Comparing it to any of the rivals, it will conquer everything it needs to. There's a reason why they have Jeep Trails. It's because of these vehicles. But if you want performance, pay a little bit more. I know it's a little bit more, but go to the 392 because you're going to get the performance to back it as well. I don't know what to do. For an everyday used car, you're going to be hitting about 3.5 RPM. So you're going to be hearing that 3.6 liter engine, which is not necessarily a bad thing. There is nothing that's going to filter out the road noise. It doesn't matter if you have beefier tires or off-roading tires or just regular tires. It's not going to help. Jeeps are known to be a little bit more noisy. Obviously you get used to it, and I sound like a broken record maybe because I'm complaining about it, but in the same attribute, I do wish it was a little bit more quiet just because of the segment that we're in the comparison. I'd like to thank Furman Jeep of Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2022 Jeep Gladiator Mojave for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, click that button right there so you can see the next video. That subscribe button, check out the details, merchandise, website, and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rides.